Right, all right. We are live by the looks of it. Let me just tell everyone I'm here. Okay. Right, hello everyone, and welcome to the season finale, season 19 this is, of Aero League Racing Tier 3 Blue. We've got, let me just get the standings up here. We've got the championship already sewn up. Claus is our champion. Heading into the final round, Eli is in second place by a good 32 points ahead of his teammate Musa, both of them in the McLarens. Then you got the two Lamborghinis, Pasty and Hurricane. And then you got Sarge down in sixth. A bit surprising to see him down there because he has won a couple of times, been very quick all season long. Then we have Zab in seventh, the last driver who's over 100 points scored so far this season after the 7 rounds. Then you have Spinner and Morrison in the old Supras. You've got Clyde, H-Boss, Broncow, O'Leary, Yuri, and Matthew in the top 15. So, I said I was going to do something a little bit different and do the grid in photo mode. So let me just do that. Oh, it doesn't want to let me. There we go. So, in 16th place, we've got Yuri in the GTR GT500 from 1999, that car is. So he is the only driver to not get better than a 55 in qualifying. He set a 55.072. So that was a good 0.4 of a second slower than his teammate Matthew, who is lining up just one position ahead of him. So it looks like this car not particularly good around Trial Mountain. Then we've got Gunmad still in the green livery that everyone spotted last week. He's in the Viper, another car that I don't think is going to be too strong around here. So he set a 54.2, a good 0.4 quicker than Matthew. And then ahead of him is O'Leary in the M6. So this is 13th place for O'Leary. He was quite a way ahead of Gunmad, actually. So everyone in the top 13 set a fairly reasonable time. This is a 52.6 for O'Leary, just a 10th slower than H-Boss in the Jag. Here he is. In that beautiful light blue colour. I really like that one. Then we've got T. Morrison in the old Supra here, lining up in 11th place. One spot behind Clyde Sparrow in the AMG, Claus's teammate. They are trying to win the Constructors' Championship tonight. It's between them and McLaren, so not the best qualifying for Clyde. We have seen him a lot higher up. Directly above his teammate is Spin there, so that's the second of the Supra GT500s. Then we have the Lamborghinis. So we've got Hurricane here. No, sorry, this is Pasty, lining up in 8th place in the Lamborghini. Then we have the first of the McLarens. It's Captain Eli, so he's second in the standings, only lining up 7th here, 7/10 off the pole position time with a 51.8. Ahead of him is Rich, who is from RCR, the team that you might have seen in eSports this season. He is lining up in 6th place, so a good qualifying for him in the Audi. Then we have Bronco in the other Jag, so fairly decent time there, 51.8, still only 6/10 off of pole, so 6th, 7th, 8th, and 9th, 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th, all separated by about a 10th of a second there in qualifying. Then we've got Zab in P4 in the other M6, so a fairly good qualifying for Zab, getting himself up there, still half a second off the pole time, but only not very far away from P2 is what I'm trying to say there. Then we have Static Sarge in P3 in his Ferrari, so another really strong qualifying for him. just pipping Zab there. And then in second place, we've got Musa, who also is very, very good in qualifying, very consistently up in second on the front row. But on pole position is going to be our champion, and he does have a couple of new additions to his livery here. So he has a nice gold livery. He's got the word GOAT on his driver number there. Well, let's see what happens next season if you're still going to be considered the GOAT in Tier 2, mate. But it's a very nice livery, and if you win the championship with a round to spare, you do earn the bragging rights. So no doubt we'll be seeing that in the Race of Champions coming up on Monday as well. 2 drivers here will be qualifying for the Race of Champions. One of them's obviously Claus. The second one will go to P2 in the standings, which is looking very likely to be Eli. But yeah, let's get the race going. We've got 9 laps to start with at Trial Mountain. Everyone should be on soft tyres for this one. And it's another good start for Claus, and Sargent coming up around the outside of Moose. Looks like he's already got fully ahead there, heading into turn 1. He's going to have to tuck in. A great start for the Jag with Tom up into P4 there already as well, ahead of Zab, who's down into 5th. Let's see if everyone takes these next few corners. Oh, spins off! Not sure what happened there, but that was quite a big incident for Spin, who had started fairly strongly there. So you got Captain Eli with a good start as well, up into 6th. Spin makes some contact with his own teammate and goes off the track. Looks like everyone else has actually made it through Clyde with a little bit of time lost there. And he drops to the back along with Spin. O'Leary doesn't look like he's had the best of starts either, with the 2 Nissans actually making their way up 3 places each off the start. H-Boss getting muscled out the way there by Pasty, who's stuck behind Gunmad, who's had a great start there in the Dodge Viper, trying to chase down Rich in the Audi here as we head into the back straight for the first time. You have to be very careful not to hit the wall on the exit there, or else you will lose a huge chunk of time. So let's go back to the front here. So Claus has managed to break away. It looks like Sargent's just ahead of Musa and Tom as we head to the braking zone. And everyone's taken the corner pretty nicely here. No changes in positions by the looks of it either. Bit of a wide exit there from Yuri, but everyone's still very close together on the grid here. So we'll have to see if people start getting any time penalties, because you can get them, especially in the first few corners of the track. So heading down to this very slow final chicane to end the lap. It's very easy to go into the wall on the exit here. There's a big metal wall that you can clatter your car against and lose loads of time. Down the pit straight. Zab's got a great run here on Tom. Tom might be able to pull away. It's difficult to get an overtake done into this straight. It's just not really long enough to pull alongside. And then it's a very fast, difficult first corner where you can't go 2x2 because of how fast it is. A little bit twitchy from all the cars, but everyone seems to have made it apart from that McLaren. That's Musa. Tom's got himself a half-second penalty as well. That's quite massive. He will drop definitely behind Zab, and potentially Eli as well, who's not too far back now. So 30.9, about half a second off the ultimate pace. I bet Claus probably set a low 30, because he is pulling a really nice gap on Sarge, who has got away from these guys behind as well. Musa making that mistake probably backed everyone up a little bit. So the top two definitely started to break away. Everyone playing the slipstream game here. And no one's pulling out yet to go for a move. It looks like Zab's thinking about it. He is going really late here on the brakes. Gets the car turned in and gets a great exit there, and is fully ahead of Tom. That's a disaster for Tom because he's still got the half-second penalty, and Captain Eli's now all over the back of him. Oh, a little bit of contact there, but everyone still makes the corner just fine. Let's see what's going on a little bit further down. Still got Pasty in 9th, Gunmad in 10th. defending on H-Boss here. This is reverse grid pole, so it's important for Goodman to keep hold of this one. A little bit further forward, there is a bit of a challenge from Morrison on Captain Eli in the last couple of corners. Morrison might now lose that position to Rich, and let's see how far down Tom's going to drop. So it's definitely behind Captain Eli, and these two might even, well, Tom's actually gone a little bit on the grass there. Pulls back onto the, are we going to go 3 wide into turn 1? This is going to be a disaster potentially. Rich backs out of it, and Morrison gets the position. Tom still holds on to P7, so that's 2 positions he really lost because of that half-second penalty. And Rich is going to send it down the inside, squeezed really tight there by Tom, and now Pasty's going to maybe try and chuck it down here in this really slow right-hander. They're still side by side, a little bit of contact from Rich on the side of the wall there. And Passy might have got that position. Yeah, he has. He managed to close the door there on the entry into the corner. Probably cost Rich a tenth or two, having to adjust his throttle in response to that. And then we have Gunmad in the Dodge Viper. We know how fast this goes in a straight line. Might be able to get a move done on Rich into the braking zone here. And incredibly late braking by some of these guys, and still hitting the corner beautifully. So it is pretty much as you were in terms of the track positions. A bit further up, Eli's trying to catch Zab. Zab's still stuck behind Musa, and they're not too far away from Sargent, but Claus definitely has got away with this one again. Yeah, there's not going to be any position changes there. A little bit further back, there seems to be a bit of action going on between Tom Pasty, who's just gotten into 7th, and Rich, who's trying to get past Tom as well. Rich having to slot in behind. Don't think he's going to be able to go for a move just yet. Pasty going ultra defensive here into the corner. It wasn't necessary, but he did cover off any attempt of anyone to get alongside him. A little bit of a dodgy first couple of corners for Tom. He's out of position in terms of the line that he's meant to take. And Rich is going to take that position on the inside now. Gunman still queuing up behind to get a position, as is H-Boss. And it looks like Gunman's sending it, and he can't quite do it. He packs out at the last second. So yeah, the pace here isn't too quick from Tom with those mistakes that he's making. He needs to just focus on finishing inside the top 10 at this point. Now it's Gunmad. Gunmad's a little bit too far back, I think, to get a move done here. And a 1.5-second penalty there for Morrison. That'll have been at the opening couple of corners for sure. And he does have a bit of a gap to Passy, but 1.5 is way too big. I think he's going to get overtaken by that group of cars that we've been watching. Might potentially drop him completely outside the top 10, because like I said, pretty much everyone is still nose to tail in this race. If you look at the mini-map, they're all pretty much on this small straight now. So not a good start to the race by the old Supras. Morrison did, there's the penalty. So there goes Pasty, here comes Rich. So that's going to be 2 positions. Tom might be able to as well, but Morrison's picking up some good speed now. He's already covering off the inside. And Tom backs out of it. So that's 2 positions lost. It wasn't as bad as it could have been. Everyone actually starting to spread out a little bit in this little battle, actually. The inferior tier 3. I don't know. I think Claus would have won the other tier as well in this AMG. We'll find out actually which tier is better at Race of Champions. So Gunmad's still struggling on the infield section in this Viper, which does turn like a brick. But H-Boss never able to really get a move done, but he is really close in the slipstream right now. Gunmad isn't actually taking advantage of the slipstream himself from the car in front. And H-Boss is going to at least get a little bit alongside. He brakes way later. And he still has some good turn in there for the corner. And that is P10 for H-Boss. Reverse grid pole at the moment, but still almost half the race left to go. So Rich chasing down Pasty here. So after they got past Tom, who's only a second or two back, Pasty hasn't really been able to shake Rich, although he got a much better exit from that corner. Zab has still stayed pretty close behind Musa. It looks like they're slowly catching Sargent as well. But again, not able to go for a move on the McLaren. McLaren's a very good car around here, I reckon. Especially in the feature race. See, is there anyone close enough to the action? O'Leary's joined this pack now as well. So this is good for O'Leary. He's not too far behind Gunmad here. Could hear Gunmad scraping the barriers there. Now a good slingshot out of this next corner really sets you up nicely for an overtake with some slipstream as well. Gunmad didn't look like he took the corner amazingly, but he is in slipstream as well, Gunmad. So Andy is in the Viper, so it's looking pretty safe for him to at least keep this P11. Really important, because if any of these guys have an incident, then P11 suddenly becomes P10. Oh, Pasty, speaking of incidents, hits the wall, gives himself damage on the front bumper and his front right tyre, so Rich is through. Morrison might be able to take advantage of this in the next few corners, because Pasty should be fairly slow around them. Oh, really wide corner there. Never mind. I think Pasty will get away with it. It's actually better to have corners when you've got this kind of damage than a straight, because it kills the speed and the acceleration a little bit as well. But you can still manage to chuck the car around the corners if you're just a little bit more careful. So with that mistake, yeah, down in the 53s for Pasty with the mistake. Let's see what kind of, yes, 153 for Matthew, and then Yuri a 53.5. So yeah, they have better speed than what they showed in qualifying, when they were in the 54s and 55s, but they're still stuck off at the back here. I might test that for next season, that old Nissan, just to see what actually attracted them to use that car. It was used in eSports as well, and it won races in it. So I don't know if it's just with downforce tuning allowed that made the difference, or if it is genuinely a good car. I remember the last time it won a race in ALR though. What's with the skin brick? I don't know. I think it's because they are driving a literal brick. I have called it a brick a few times, so maybe that's that's their response. I mean, they're proving my point here, and a 2.5 penalty for Matthew as well, just to add insult to injury. It's difficult because where are you going to place those two next season? Because the pace has definitely been tier 4, but if they had a proper car, maybe they could have done something a bit better this season. Two laps to go. Claus with the fastest lap of 51.1. Sargent in P2, his best lap, 6/10 down on that. As is Moose's, as is Zab's, and then Captain Eli's best laps in the 52. So Claude's definitely in a class of his own. He's got the pace to come through the pack in the feature as well, if he can. It's we haven't seen too many overtakes. It's not the easiest track to get overtakes done, and there will be a lot of tyre saving, I reckon, in the feature as well. Should be a one-stop in the feature, a hard medium for pretty much everyone. Maybe the medium soft for some of these crazy cars like the Supra could be possible. I'm not too sure. It is an afternoon race though, which makes the track warmer. Because when we last raced here, I did only 10 laps on the mediums in the AMG, which doesn't have great tyre wear, but it was, I think, an evening race or something. It had cooled down on the track anyway, so I think that made the tyres last a fair bit longer than what we're going to see in the feature. Gunmad's still in 11th, still ahead of O'Leary, but they have dropped a little bit off the back of Tom. So things are starting to look desperate. Oh, Pasty, another mistake at the same corner here. It's going to allow Morrison to close up now. He's just taking a little bit too much speed around the bend on these wearing tyres, and he's not getting the grip on the exit and having to lift off the exit and lose a couple of tenths every time that happens. Maybe we'll see a two-stop as well. The two-stop can work. I think Marty got a podium in Tier 2 doing the two-stop. But you have to be really good at getting past the traffic. Here comes Morrison on Pasty. Pasty's going defensive. It is the final lap of the race as well. And, oh, almost a little bit of contact mid-corner because Morrison was taking more speed. And Pasty seems to have fended him off pretty well, at least for now. So we've got Eli has passed Zab at some point. Oh, Zab had a penalty. Okay. So not an overtake on track. And he has driven away from Zab. Zab has Rich behind him, potentially hunting him down for that P5. It's a good sprint race here for Rich. And he is in the slipstream right now. Is he going to be able to get close enough? Dive bomb territory. He's thinking about it. And they both brake very late for the corner. A little bit too late almost for Rich there. And Zab seems to have survived that one. Got Morrison, we got H-Boss pretty close behind as well. H-Boss's tyres are in incredibly good condition compared to the two above, which is probably helping him late on in this race. Interesting that the Jag has... that was a strange way that the car moved there. I think there was some lag involved. Let's go back to the front because Claus is already on the home straight. He's going to take yet another win in the AMG. Our Tier 3 blue champion racking up the wins while he can get them with another one in the final sprint race of the season. Sargent on the podium once again, as is Musa. Really good racing for them. Captain Eli takes 4th place, just ahead of Zab, who fends off Rich right at the end. And then these three cars, you've got Pasty ahead of Morrison, ahead of H-Boss. And the final point goes to Tom. He gets reverse grid pole. Then you have O'Leary managed to get past Gunmad. Clyde down in 13th. And then we've got the Bricks. Yuri just ahead of Matthew here, who's just ahead of Spin. So Spin dropping all the way to the back at the end of this one. And there we go. Yeah, H-Boss seems to be good at managing his tyres. I mean, the Jag's good at managing tyres in general. It's the fuel that it needs, that it has a problem with. So, yeah, it's good for sprint races, definitely, where there's a higher than usual tyre wear, even on 2 times. Right, let's see what everyone is starting on. If you're starting at the front, it would be advisable to be on the mediums. So let's go. Tom is starting on the hards and H-Boss is starting on the mediums. So that's interesting because it's the two Jags going for different strategies here. So H-Boss will want to get ahead and build quite a big lead early on. Morrison will want to follow him through on the mediums. Then we've got Pasty, Hards, Rich, Zab, Eli, Musa, Sarge. I think everyone down here is going to be on the hards, aren't they? Apart from Matthew and Spin on the mediums. So maybe we are seeing a medium soft from Spin. Let's see what happens. At least they'll be able to get some positions from the start. So the ones to watch out for, I think, are H-Boss and Morrison. They're the only ones at the front on the mediums. Let's go. 22 laps this one to round out our 19th season in ALR. Not expecting any major dramas into turn 1 with the rolling start. Everyone making it through just fine by the looks of it. Ooh, we got Claus already challenging Sargent here. Around the outside, into the tunnel. And he couldn't keep hold of it. Looks like Sargent's covered him off. Is he going to dive? He is not for now. And he tucks back in behind. Then we have O'Leary making a bit of contact there with Gunmad. Gunmad's going to lose out to Clyde as well here. Then we have Matthew and Spin struggling on their medium tyres. So, into the back straight, we've got H-Boss coming under a fair bit of pressure here from Morrison, and Nitro has actually built an alright gap in that first sector. And yeah, Morrison pulls out late but doesn't go for the move. A bit further back, Pasty fends off Rich as well. Zab going deep around the corner, keeps the position on Musa by the looks of it. Yep. These are some strange camera angles. They're making me dizzy. But yeah, Claus battling with Sargent. It looks like he's finally got the position there around the outside of that little right-hand hairpin kind of corner. And then a little bit further forward, you have Musa and Zab going side by side again here. As you can see, the leader's just taking the chicane right now. Musa's absolutely sent it, and it looks like he's going to get the position. And Claus has to tuck in behind Zab. Sargent's got a better exit from the corner. So what's he going to do? There's not really much he can. Looks like Claus got a little bit of a bump from Sargent. Is going to go for the move on Zab onto the inside into turn 1. Like I said, you can't go too wide into here. I think Zab's going to have to bail out. There's no room for him. And he does manage to tuck in nicely right behind Claus to prevent Sargent getting the position. But Sargent makes a mistake. O'Leary's got through. And Clyde's got through, and Gunman. So let's see what happened with Sarge a second ago, because he was looking very comfortable, ready to challenge Zab. He had to back out a lot there. O'Leary just sent it up the inside. Absolutely fine. And then, yeah, he's just going slow around the corners because he's side by side through the whole first 3 corners. And there is 3 positions gone as a result. So pretty brutal there for Sargent. He's going to try and defend on the inside against Yuri. Yuri gets that spot. Yuri is the one on the hards as well. Then we have Spin catching up. Everyone's still pretty much side by side as we go into the back straight here. Clyde's going to be very slow on this exit. Actually, it was O'Leary who came out worse. So Gunmad has a choice. What does he want to do? And he's not bump drafting either of them. He's actually just going to use the power of the Viper. And Yuri's going to follow him through. And is Yuri going to try and get that position as well? Oh, Gunmad. Oh, this is chaos. This is absolute chaos. Look at all these cars. Right. The reason I said Gunmad is because he goes all the way to the right and gifts the inside line to 2 cars there who both dive it down the inside, but they both overcook the corner and Gunmad gets them on the exit. But now he's side by side with Yuri. He actually pulls ahead of Yuri, so he's got up to P10, which is great. All these guys have lost a massive amount of time though to Zab in front. So yeah, Zab's fallen down as well, down the order a little bit. And then you've got these top drivers who are all incredibly close. Tom has lost the lead of the race somewhere. So what happened to Tom? got his teammate close behind and Morrison's close behind as well. Oh, there's contact between the two Jags. H-Boss gets through and Morrison's going to get through as well. Let's see that one more time. Boom. So that is how the lead of the race changed. And then we were back up to about here. And everyone's super close together. But the two on the mediums are first and second now, and Tom is still the lead driver of the cars on the hard tyres. Rich might want to change that right about now though. Two very good cars here, the Audi and the Jag at the moment. Depends what you prefer, I think, in terms of if you want to be in an FR car or a MR car. Look at that. Yeah. Really good cornering there from the Audi. He stuck a nose in. Probably shouldn't have. Nothing really happened anyway. But he's going to have to be a bit more patient against Tom. But he probably feels like he needs to get past Tom to stop the medium runners getting too far ahead on their medium tyres. They're still looking in really good nick. It looks like Morrison's medium tyres are wearing slightly faster than H-Boss's, but we saw how good H-Boss was on his tyres in the sprint race at the end as well. Might lose P1 here though. H-Boss going a bit defensive, bit of squeezing there, really tight line into the corner from Morrison, but doesn't get it. He gets a better exit though. They are side by side, but H-Boss has the advantage here into the braking zone, and yeah, Morrison had to really back out of it. He might have actually made a bit of contact with the wall, not too sure. So these two, I might be making a mistake here. They're battling through the corners, losing time. This is their opportunity to work together and create a huge gap to the hard runners, but at the moment there's Tom. He's nowhere. Once they put on the hard tyres and the other drivers are on the mediums, if they don't work together, they're going to really fall back. Oh no, I don't know if you, what's going on. There was a bump, maybe it was unintentional. Anyway, H-Boss and Morrison both make the first corners just fine. This is where they really need to be gapping Tom, which isn't really happening. Tom's keeping up with them really nicely at the moment, so maybe he's just really good at the opening few corners because he's really keeping close to these guys. And there's the change for the lead. I was checking the chat and I just completely missed it. So he just kind of muscles his way to the lead at the end, Morrison. He's doesn't want to try and get the move on the back straight, but now maybe potentially the Jags can work together and get them both of themselves past this this Toyota. Are they close enough for a bump draft? They will be. A bump for H-Boss. Oh, it's not coming close enough, quick enough. What's Tom doing? Don't go for it. Don't send it on your teammate. He's done it. Oh, and they've made contact with Morrison as well. Okay. All cards are off the table in the final round in the Jag camp, I suppose. And H-Boss gets the position back. Just ruining each other's strategies here. They could have bumped... Yeah, they could have bumped themselves past Morrison before too long. And now Rich is challenging Tom as a result of all that fighting. So Rich, pretty close to capitalising on it. Trying to position his car in a way to make Tom a bit unsure of himself. Good exit there though by Tom, and Pasty's not too far behind either. So the gap at the front, Pasty's actually got the fastest lap as well. So the medium runners are not able to get themselves into the 53s. Like Claus on his hard tyres. Actually, let's have a little check-in on Claus. So we saw him in P8 a few laps ago, and he's not really changed that position. He's right behind Musa though, and he's just absolutely sent it. Musa still with the inside line here, really should keep this position. He's squeezing Claus out, actually leaves him the perfect amount of space in the end. Oh, nearly loses it. And Claus with the inside line. Might lose the position still on this straight though, because Musa's got a good run. Claus already going defensive. Not really going to be getting any benefit from the slipstream of Captain Eli in front. He's a bit too far ahead. But Musa's got the position on the outside. Claus is going to still hold it. Brakes a lot later. Oh, he's covered him off pretty well there. So that should be it, done and dusted now for Claus. And he can try and chase down his rival in the championship this season, Eli, the other McLaren. So now the medium guys, now that they've got a little bit of a gap from each other, are starting to get away from the hard runners. The gap is still way too small though. They've got another 4 laps minimum on these tyres. I feel like H-Boss could go 1 extra than Tom to try and create a bit of a bigger gap here, because at the moment the gap is going to be, let's see, 2 seconds is nowhere near enough. Nowhere near enough. They need to be 2 seconds a lap quicker than Tom and Rich need to start getting into a bit of a scrap here to help the front two. Let's see what's going on near the back. We've got O'Leary and Clyde all the way at the back. I think O'Leary looks like he had a bit of an issue on lap 2, as did Clyde, so that's why they're at the back. We've got Matthew on his mediums, still in 14th, so he's not made too much progress up. He's still stuck behind his teammate on the hard tyres. Then we have Gunmad in 12th after he worked really hard to get up into 10th earlier in the race, is dropping back. Sargent trying to recover, is in 11th. Spin on his mediums, pretty much on his own at the moment, comfortably ahead of the guys behind, trying to chase down Zab now on his hard tyres. And Spin is going 7/10 lap quicker than Zab. Then we've got Musa versus Claus. Musa isn't done with this battle yet. He is going for some bump drafting though. So these guys may be working together to try and catch the cars in front, as Eli goes for a move on Pasty into the braking zone here. And it looks like he's got the move done. Or is Pasty going to swoop back on the inside? Difficult to see with this angle. He does. He covers him off pretty well there on the exit. So Eli braking it a little bit too late and not able to get on the throttle as quick as he would have liked to solidify that position. And Rich dropping a little bit off the back of Tom now, and maybe about to be at the head of a bit of a train here. Now here comes H-Boss and Morrison round the final corner again. So we're looking for 53s, mid 53s ideally, by these medium runners. That's a mid 54 and a low 54. H-Boss doing the exact same time as Tom, so not extending their lead at all at the moment on these medium tyres. And I think that's probably down to Morrison holding up H-Boss a little bit there. So this is looking a bit more normal, everything's settling down a little bit on the grid. Musa's dropping a little bit back off Claus now. Spin's still trying to catch Zab, and he is getting really close actually. It's 53.2 for Spin. He's got the fastest lap of the race on that previous one, which was a good second and a half quicker than what Zab managed on his hard tyres. So Spin really is joining the fight here, and if he is going to try medium soft, which I'm not sure if he's going to be able to do, but if he does manage to do that and pull it off, then he could be in for a pretty... What's going on down here? Everyone's really close together. Oh, there's been contact. And Yuri gets the position anyway. Everyone a little bit unsure what to do. Let's go back. So this is P12 down at P16, all very close together. Clyde overcooks the braking a little bit, makes contact with Yuri. And then O'Leary has to really back out of the acceleration. If O'Leary'd got picked his line a little bit better on the exit, he could have got a few places there, but he's back down to last for having to lift a bit too much, basically. So we're at the end of lap 7. Let's do a quick tyre check for these mediums. Morrison, maybe 40-ish% left. About 5% less than what HBoss has on the front right tyre. And then Spin, by comparison, does have maybe 15, 20, 25%, can't really tell, more tyre life on his front right than the other two. So he can go a lot longer on these mediums, that's for sure, before they start going off. I think Morrison's tyres might start going off. He'd set at 53.7, so a little bit better that time, compared to a 54 flat for Tom. So Tom doing some good times. The hards do stay at the kind of optimal performance range for a lot longer. And with the fuel being at half now, that's going to give them a nice little boost. Especially down the straights, to get to a little bit of a quicker top speed. So really what we're waiting for is the pit stops now. I reckon these guys will come in end of lap 8, end of lap 9. I think HBoss might do one extra on these, and then Spin will come in a lap or two later than these two. I do think Spin's going to still have to put on the hards. So really, Tom Nitro is in a great position to win this feature race. He's still the highest of the hard runners, and he is comfortably ahead of Rich. Rich is saving a little bit more fuel, and Rich's tyres are in a little bit better condition than Tom's. So the pendulum could swing back in Rich's favour, but it does also depend on who decides to pit first, because the undercut is massive around here. And they will have to overtake HBoss and Morrison on track, that's for sure, if they want to win this one. No one's come into the pits just yet, so I don't think anyone's going to be trying a 2-stop, but it is still possible if you want to do like a medium soft. 9:18. Oh, yeah. And then the rest on softs, potentially. Spin on that last lap was another 7/10 quicker than Zab. So yeah, he's definitely going to join this battle and get some overtakes done. And then Captain Eli stuck behind his own teammate now, so Moose is not doing too well. He was behind Claus, but Claus is a fair bit up the road, a second or two at this point. Rich and... oh, something's happened. Rich caught up massively to Tom. Is he going to lose it? Yeah, too much throttle, too much steering, and into the wall here. Has to be careful not to... we can't even see anything. So he's down into 10th with loads of damage. But there was a big gap between Spin and Sargent. Everyone seems to have got past Rich fine. But that is a huge dent to what was a pretty good feature race up to that point. So that promotes Pasty up into P4. Tom has a good couple of seconds lead on Pasty. So like I was saying before, it is looking pretty good for Tom. Pasty has a little bit more fuel than Tom, so he could catch up a bit in the pits. But if Tom can maintain his pace in the kind of low 54s, I think he might be alright, and then he can attack the two at the front in the second stint. HBoss still stuck behind Morrison by the looks of things. He is using a lot more fuel as well. If I was HBoss, I'd be fuel saving a lot if I'm stuck behind a car in front that I've got a little bit more pace than. Pasty defending from Claus here. The hard tyres are starting to get pretty worn at this point for some of the cars. They did wear a lot quicker than usual, I think, the hards at this track. Not quite sure why. Overheating, probably. Look at that, everyone's still pretty close from P4 down. So I really think it depends on who's... Let's have a quick fuel gauge of who's saving fuel the best here. It is the guys at the front, really. Claus has been saving fuel massively. And Morrison has loads of fuel. So those two might end up a little bit more... well, Claus might end up a little bit more towards the front after the pit stop. And there's been a change of position somehow. Right, what's going on here? Is there like a misshift or something for Morrison? Because he just doesn't look like he has any pace here going up the hill. This is exactly what H-Boss needs, because Morrison's tyres are looking really shaky at this point. This could potentially be his in-lap. H-Boss is going to cover this off. Yeah, Morrison having to be really careful now on these old tyres. H-Boss's tyres are looking a good bit better here, so let's see if Morrison peels into the pits now that we're at the end of lap 10. Yeah, he is, and H-Boss does go for one more. So the good news for Morrison is, even though he has lost that position, he's got more fuel, and he's going to get an undercut on H-Boss, so he should get that position back as long as he's not in any traffic. But there is quite a big field spread now as Tom goes up into P2. Pasty just ahead of Claus, and then there's Musa still just ahead of Eli, who's not really tried to get past his teammate so far. And now Spin ahead of Zab up in 7th on the medium, still looking pretty good, closing in on Captain Eli. Gunmad's also in the pits. So let's see if Morrison comes out in any traffic. There are still drivers coming down the pit straight now, so he might be a little bit close. He is going to be stuck in traffic by the looks of it. He's got Clyde and Yuri just ahead, and O'Leary just behind, so he does have one driver that he doesn't have to worry about. There is a bit of a gap to Clyde and Yuri as well, but they're not going to be coming in for a little while. Well, Clyde's going to serve a penalty. Yuri going pretty defensive here on Clyde, doesn't want to give up the position anyway after that little twitch on the exit of the tunnel. Yeah, Spin's been looking after those mediums really nicely. So yeah, not much Morrison can do at this point. He's just warming up his tyres as well, so that's why he's not really done much closing in so far. Matthew has come out on the hards, Gunmad's out on the medium, so we'll see if he can make it to the end on those. I don't think that the Dodge could do that. H-Boss meanwhile is going around for another lap, so really stretching out this medium stint. Loads of people diving in now, so Tom hasn't, Pasty hasn't, Spin is still going on his mediums as well, and it looks like Zab hasn't either. So who was the highest driver? I think it might have been Musa, Claus and Eli in the pits. Let's see where they come out in comparison to Morrison, who's still just ahead of O'Leary here. So his pace hasn't been that good on this outlap, but he should still be ahead of everyone who's currently in the pits. And he gets past one of the drivers that were ahead of him. And you can see the other drivers are just coming out of the pits now, and they've got this queue of traffic coming out now. So there's Claus is ahead of Musa on his fresh mediums, didn't have to put as much fuel in as everyone else. Then you got Musa still just ahead of Captain Eli, and they have one driver who's on old hard tyres ahead of them, maybe by about a second. And now they're on the fresh mediums, they really want to be getting away. And then here's Clyde trying to get past O'Leary. Morrison's still not caught up to Yuri yet, which is pretty interesting actually. but maybe he'll be getting some benefit of the slipstream on this back straight. There's Clyde, who has got past O'Leary as well, just at the corner there. So it's really difficult to tell. What is H-Boss going to do? Is he coming in to the pits this time? Yeah, this time he is coming in. So this is crucial. Did staying out the extra 2 laps benefit him or not? It will give him slightly fresher tyres for the rest of the race. Last few laps is where that should really benefit him, but Tom's coming in at the same time to put on the mediums. Spin is still carrying on his mediums, so maybe he is trying the medium soft, I don't know. This is very impressive from this old Supra. I'm putting it on my testing list as well, because it seems like a feature race cheat code. Yuri's coming in as well, and here's Morrison. Is it going to be a Supra 1-2 at least for a lap for spin pits? Or is H-Boss going to be able to get out ahead of him? So you can see H-Boss is refueling as we speak. Up to 60, he's putting in quite a lot of fuel there. And it's not going to be enough. Where is he? There he is, just coming out of the pits now. And it's going to be H-Boss just ahead of Claus actually in P3. And Tom has dropped back quite a lot here. He's gone side by side with Eli into the first corner. They both make it through. But that's Pasty, sorry. Tom's even further behind that. He's down in 9th at the moment. So staying out as long as he did hasn't worked. He's been undercut by a huge number of cars who are going to be on worse tyres for the whole stint. But he has to get past them as well. So this might have been a tactical error from Tom, but maybe he can't make the mediums last as long as some of these other cars. Really tricky here. Now we've got O'Leary, who still hasn't pit in the middle of all this, going side by side with Captain Eli. Musa giving Eli a little bit of slip there. Oh, I don't think it was. It did help him very slightly though. And this should be quite an easy overtake on the fresh mediums versus the old hards. And it is H-Boss getting challenged now by Musa. And it looks like Musa's got the position as well, so that's a really good overtake there. Remember, H-Boss on the hards for the rest of the race, same as Spin. And Claus is the highest driver on the mediums who's made their pit stop. So it's looking pretty ominous here. Claus has just done some massive fuel saving in the first stint. And hit at the right time as well. And he's managed to basically do all the hard work by just overtaking a huge number of cars in the pits and not having to worry about them. And there's potentially just one overtake on a car on hard tyres between him and winning yet another feature race this season. Spin's still out, yeah. Spin's definitely, well, maybe he needs another one after this though to do the medium soft. He's down in the high 54s now, so the tyre, yeah, he has stayed out too long because Morrison's actually a little bit slower on his hard tyres, actually. Morrison's not been hasn't set a good first lap there, but Claus is in the 53s. Moose is in the 54s. Is anyone else in the 53s at the moment? No, everyone's just on their out lap. And then in the pits finally is O'Leary. So yeah, Spin's got a huge lead. If these guys start getting into grief with each other, it's gonna, it could potentially keep him ahead of them. Claus is just gonna get this pretty easily, isn't he? Oh look, it's got a Nottingham Forest logo on it. I didn't know that. Anyway, Claus is basically your new provisional race leader once again, with a pretty straightforward overtake there. Ooh. A little bit of lost traction there for Morrison, and Claus is just going to scarf her away. Now, the next person on the hit list is going to be Musa. Probably a second and a half way at the moment, again on very fresh mediums. So a great opportunity for a double McLaren podium here with Musa and Captain Eli. If they can both get past Morrison. We have to see what's going to happen with Spin as well. He should still be in this group of cars. They have started spreading out a bit. He's going to be behind all these guys. Here's Tom and H-Boss. So it started coming apart a little bit for the Jags. These guys should still be ahead of Spin, but Spin's already coming out of the pits, actually. Here he comes. There's Tom. H-Boss is a little bit too far behind, but maybe it's going to take these opening corners a little bit better. Spin is on the softs, by the way, so that's crazy. That's not going to work. That's too many laps. 7 laps on the softs is too many. Especially with overtakes as well. But I guess this is where the excitement's going to be for the rest of the race. This and up in P3, because Musa has just sold Morrison a good little dummy there onto the exit of the back straight and has the position. Now what's Captain Eli? Eli's a little bit too far away to do anything. These two are just having a drag race here down the straight, and Musa still has the position on Morrison and the inside line into the next corner. Eli's trying to catch up. Looks like Musa's fully ahead of Morrison, so there's the acceleration of the McLaren coming through. Yeah, dirty air and overtakes is a bad time for the softs, but here's Spin, still behind Tom. He's completely dropped H-Boss though. Softs versus hards. This should be a very... Oh no, Tom's on the medium, sorry. So it won't be as easy as get past someone like H-Boss, at least at this stage. If you spin, you have to send it into the braking zone right here, I reckon. And he decides not to. Next priority is getting a great exit from this corner. And it wasn't. Okay, so he's going to have to be a little bit more patient. Up here we've got Morrison ahead of Eli and Pasty. So Morrison really is struggling now on these hard tyres. And he's going to have to do a lot of defending for the rest of the race. Like I said, Morrison and H-Boss fought a little bit too hard and then kind of ruined the sheen on their medium tyres and couldn't really get away from the hard runners in the first stint. And Morrison's getting punished for that now, as is Eli, because he's just going to get done round the outside here. Or he should have been, but Pasty made a bit of contact with Morrison, and Eli gets that position back. Morrison gets a little bump up the road as well. Spin still stuck behind Nitro. Nitro's got a 1.5 second penalty, but again, Spin really wants to get that position ASAP. And yeah, he'll get it. Surely on this straight. A little bit further up, Pasty's going to try again on Captain Eli. No, he's going for the bump draft. So they want to catch up to Morrison and at least get that position. This is great news for Musa, who's a good couple of seconds up the road already. Yeah, as you were, Spin has got past Tom, so let's see how that happened. See if they give us a good camera angle for this one. He's going to send it. Absolutely needs to send it. A few corners late, in my opinion, but he's through. His tyres are starting to wear as well. He is going purple. I mean, definitely needs to be getting the fastest lap at the very minimum, and he's got a bit of space to these three in front, who are starting to get a little bit spicy now. And a little bit wide there for Morrison, is bunching them up really closely for the end of this lap. And everyone's thinking about going for a move, and everyone still makes it around just fine. And again, this is Captain Eli's best chance for sure to get this one. Spin's catching up to these massively as well. Morrison's already going defensive. Eli shouldn't be putting his car around the outside. It's not going to work. Oh my god, it actually worked. That's the first time I've seen Eli actually pull that one off, and Pasty's going to follow him through. Actually no, he loses a bit of traction and he's got the inside line for this corner. Spin really close behind now as well. Is about to make it 3 wide. Let's join on board with Spin, who really has to back out of it. Makes huge contact with his own teammate here. Right, okay, what happened? So Pasty ruins it on his own. Morrison's knocked out of the way. Spin gets a good double overtake here. Don't wait. Don't wait for your teammate. Just keep going. Just keep going. So that's that was interesting. So Spin up into 4th ahead of his teammate. His teammate is still ahead of Pasty, but his teammate would have had a good couple of seconds on Pasty at this point. With Pasty's own mistake, that wasn't even connected to that. We got Tom on the mediums, still behind Zab, and then we got H-Boss about to be overtaken by Sargent here. Sargent needs the Ferrari straight line speed to start coming through. And this should be fairly straightforward for Sargent, surely it is. H-Boss, who was in P1 in the first stint, dropping back now. Zab is the next one to try and get past T. Morrison now. So yeah, the hard runners really not doing well. And it's a strategy that can work, doing the medium hard, starting at the front. It's probably the best strategy for you. Build a gap. It worked well in Tier 2, so watch the Tier 2 feature race if you want to see this strategy being successfully pulled off. I think we had some good fortune in that though as well. Here comes Zab. That's a great little cutback for Zab, and he's going to surely get that position round the bend. And he's going to cover Morrison off into the next corner as well. So up to 6th now. Pasty, well actually, we might see, let's do a little tyre check. Anyone over 50% yet? Claus is around about 50. Claus is a little bit worse than Moose's and Eli's. And they all came out at the exact same time. So maybe Claus' tyres go off, we don't know. Spin's tyres are fine on his softs. So we'll have to see, because they'll wear a lot quicker. But for now they're okay. Oh, we got a little battle here already between Tom and Morrison. Not much of a battle by the looks of it though. Tom fully ahead before the braking zone. And Sargent's going through already. He's just decided to send it, and he's got it as well. So there's 2 positions lost in a single corner there. And Morrison and H-Boss have caught back up to each other. Rich on his recovery is nearly up with these guys. Has really good tyres, Rich, actually. Then Gunmad, his tyres are, remember, he came in really early. I don't think those mediums are going to last till the end. And he's already struggling, so potentially another pit stop. Clyde, Yuri, O'Leary's tyres are all pretty fine. Matthew's tyres are fine as well. You're scared of him in Tier 2? Well, he's not going to be in the AMG next season, so... He's quick. We know he's going to be, like... He can qualify very, very strongly as well. It's just a different kettle of fish when everyone else is within 1/10 or 2/10 of your time, and you're having to race side by side consistently and cleanly for a whole hour without making any mistakes. That's where it went wrong for Claus last time anyway. Unforced errors as well, was allowing himself to get into have too many spins, which we've seen him do, I don't think, even once this season. So if he chooses a stable car, he could be a top driver in Tier 2. We'll have to see. I wonder if anyone else will get promoted. We've got Musa currently in 2nd place and Eli currently in 3rd. Both had very strong seasons. Eli was in Tier 2 last season and did pretty well, actually. He only really got demoted to Tier 3 because we went back to 1 Tier 2, because we went from 8 tiers back down to 7. But he was definitely on the bubble. Then Pasty's had his strongest season in a long time, at least that I've seen. I don't always commentate him, obviously, but from what I've seen, this is Pasty's best. Sargent's super quick as well. I think he could cut it pretty handily in Tier 2. But the problem is we've got so many drivers that are at that kind of pace, and only 16 spots on a grid. And then maybe some will be going down, but we won't be talking about potential demotions. We'll spare people's blushes. I'm not going to be like, their season was shit, they need to They need to go back down to Tier 4 and never be seen again. By the way, if you haven't signed up for next season, please do so. If you forgot to respond to it, I did remind everyone who actually raced this season and hasn't responded. But yeah, we've already got enough for 7. We'll have to see if we get enough for 8 in the off season. I don't see why not, really. Summer's over, people have a bit more time, you know. It'll be our last season before the 2 new tracks, Yas Marina and Montreal, get added to the circuit. So those will almost definitely be the season 21 calendar. I've been thinking though, like they're both obviously going to be high speed tracks because of, well, actually Montreal could maybe be a medium speed, but I still think it's for Group 3 it's going to be a lot of time on the accelerator. Abu Dhabi is going to be like Monza no chicane twice in a row to complete a lap, pretty much. Oh, H-Boss defending here from Rich. Rich trying to go around the outside. And it looks like he's managed to stick it pretty well around the outside, but H-Boss got a little bit better exit and keeps that position. Let's go back up to spin and see what his tyres are doing. Yeah. 2 more laps. It is, I mean, he could make it. He could make it. He's been lapping in the 52s and he has caught up to Eli, but I'm not sure if he's got the grip to actually do anything now that he has caught up. But a P4 would be a really solid result on a medium soft strategy. .3 is still pretty good. A couple of tenths quicker than Eli, so they have kind of equaled out now. And the softs will continue to degrade pretty quickly though. Is anyone else at risk of puncture here? I don't think so. Rich still stuck behind H-Boss there. Gunmad might struggle. He might actually get away with it. Maybe he's been a bit more careful these last couple of laps. And these guys are absolutely fine for tyres. But Matthew's going to try and get a fastest lap at least. 52.1 is the target. A lot of people have been in the 51s in this tier, so it is possible. Last sector for spin, yeah. Well, even from now, I think he's already starting to drop a little bit back. Oh, no, he's still there with Eli. The slip might be helping him as well. There's quite a big gap back to Zab. You can see the pixels disappearing on that front right tyre. Still holding on pretty nice though, to be fair to him. Ooh, very deep there into the entry of the chicane. We'll give him a good exit though. And he is, yeah, Eli's struggling a little bit on his tyres as well, but this is going to be the banter lap now for spin. Fortunately, the most difficult corners on the tyres are at the start of the lap when he still has a little bit of tyre life. He's taking it so easy. Putting the brakes on for quite a while there as well. And lifting to go around that corner as well. Okay. He is definitely nursing the tyres. But you can see Eli's just got way more grip now. So, yeah, Spin's tyres are definitely overheating a little bit too much. Losing the grip. Looks like the McLaren's gonna get away and get P2 and P3, which is a very, very good result. I'm not sure what that does to the constructors actually, because Claus has won both races, then we've had a really strong feature result for both McLarens. Spin is very comfortably ahead of Zab, but he is in puncture territory now. if he's not careful around these last few corners. Look at that, his car's just not turning. He's not even bringing that much speed around there. So this one should be fine. All the right-handers should be fairly comfortable. And now he's just got 2 more left-handers. This one will be the trickier one. I think he's going to get away with it. Zab's way too far back. He can't even really see Spin on his screen. There's Spin. Then we have Captain Eli and Musa challenging each other as well into the final corner. Musa's going to cover that off just fine. And we're going to get another win, double win here for Spin, for Claus, sorry, to round out his season and his championship with a huge points total. Then we have a great result for the McLarens at the end of this Trial Mountain race. And then we have Spin does hold on to people. Then we've got Zab in 5th. Passy just holding off Sargent for 6th. Nitro 8th. H-Boss is in 9th and keeps ahead of Rich. Then we have Morrison, who dropped all the way down to 11th with a bad lap on lap 20, losing about 8 seconds. So that was probably with a spin at some point. So he drops down to 11th, which is a bit of a shame. Gunmad in 12th does make the mediums last, but this is well, it was going to be about a 56, but yeah, that's a good way of ending your season. I like that. Then we have these guys who were really close all race long. Yuri in 13th, O'Leary 14th, Clyde is in 15th. And then Matthew on the softs. Let's see if he gets the fastest lap here. He's driving the brick. It's very appropriately coloured. And it's very fitting that it's P16 in the last race of the season. Yeah, these guys are going to be so happy to be out of this car. Maybe they'll have a better chance next season. Yeah, this lap looks fairly tidy. Let's see if he can get into the 51s. He misses out. Oh, he misses out by a long way. He gets his own fastest lap, but he's 1.8 seconds off of the fastest lap of the race, which kind of emphasizes the point on the brick. So, end of the season. Let's see what the standings look like. So, Claus ends up with 200 and... Oh no. It is going to be 200 and something. Claus ends up with 296 points, so nearly into the 300s. He had... how many wins? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. He had 10 wins out of the 16 races. 1, 2, 3... 3 P2s, a P3, and then his worst races were a P5 and a P6. So it has been utterly dominant, 87 points ahead of Captain Eli, who gets it to the Race of Champions in P2. So they'll both be racing on Monday in their cars around Lago Maggiore with everyone else who finished essentially P1 and P2 in their championships as well. Then we have Musa, who gets on the podium for the season. He is in 3rd place, and that means that McLaren beat Mercedes-AMG by 3 points in the constructors as well. So big congrats to those guys. Rounding out the top 10 were Pasty, Sarge, Zab, Hurricane, Spin, Morrison, and Clyde. So yeah, that's it from me. We've got, like I said, the Race of Champions on Monday, and then after that, the Champions Cup starts. The draw for the group stage is happening tomorrow. So yeah, watch out for the notification for that, because it's going to be quite exciting to see who everyone picks for their teams. And yeah, apart from that, sign up, answer the polls in the season votes, so that we can decide on what the returning track is going to be, and a couple of other bits for the league. But yeah, apart from that, thanks for watching, guys.